Most entrepreneurs evade taxes. Government reassesses future of NGSA. And offshore driller Noble sees profits increase. I'm Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The GRA collected 242 billion Ghana dollars in 2021. The Auditor General, however, noted that there were substantial shortfalls in income tax on the self-employed. According to the Auditor General report of 2021, 87,267 self-employed persons did not file their tax returns out of 114,838. This means that only 27,211 persons, or 24%, filed their tax returns, which totaled $4 billion. This also means that a whopping 76%, or every 3 out of 4 self-employed persons, did not file their income tax. However, they're not alone. Also falling short were personal and corporate tax, the environmental levy, liquor license, travel tax, and VAT on imported goods and domestic supply. The excise tax on petroleum products also showed a shortfall in revenue collection. In the audit report, however, the GRA explained that for 2021, the revenue target was revised from $242 billion to $254.9 billion. Here's a troubling statistic. According to estimates, some 1 in 10 Guyanese have diabetes. This is an estimated 60,000 persons in Ghana, some of whom do not even know their status. On Monday, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony shared that many diabetic patients access healthcare at clinics and other facilities across the nation. However, there's a large percentage of persons who remain undiagnosed. So, if you're over 40 years old and obese, it might be time to get a checkup, as diabetes is one of the most common chronic conditions in Ghana. So, be sure to get your blood sugar checked, people. It just might save your life. According to Walter Narine, the Director of Solid Waste Management for Georgetown, an anti-littering campaign has started. He said tough measures will be put in place to ensure people who continue to litter will receive the full force of the law. Convicted individuals may receive mandatory community service and fines for said offenses. On Monday, the Guyana Fire Service commissioned the Onvawakt Fire Station and extended the Emergency Medical Services Program to Region 5. The station was completed at a cost of over $28.7 million, and it will service the west coast of Berbice from east of the Abari Bridge to Rosignol. One ambulance and a team of EMTs will be stationed at the Onvawakt Fire Station, where they will respond to all calls in Region 5. The fire service stated that the emergency medical service was launched in 2016, and prior to this expansion, it has only been serving residents of Georgetown and the surrounding environs. Yesterday, 60-year-old Harilal Boudram was hospitalized with head injuries after he was knocked down by a drunk driver on the Ogle Public Road, East Coast, Demerara. The driver, a 38-year-old man who the police did not name, is currently awaiting charges. You're a hard-working truck owner. That's why you need only quality parts for your truck. But you might be asking, Noriko, how will I ever afford them? Well, my friend, you need to go to Powered Automotive. They stock parts from Mack, International, Bedford TM, and all models of Cummins engines. Treat your truck right. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles, or call or WhatsApp them on telephone number 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. You can multiply your cash by selling Digicel Top-Up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Education Minister Priya Manikchan has stated that the ministry is considering revamping the National Grade 6 Assessment. Manikchan believes the NGSA may still be utilized to identify gifted students and place them in national and regional schools. Aside from that, potential changes might include students being assigned to schools in their neighborhood as early as 2027. Later, when speaking with the media on the sidelines of a ceremony, the Education Minister said emphatically that the Grade 6 assessment is not being phased out. Improvements in the local school sector are expected before any of these reforms can be implemented. On a related note, in order to address the issue of overcrowding, the Education Ministry has signed 2 multi-million-dollar contracts for the expansion of the East Rumvelt Secondary School and Winfred's Secondary School. The contracts for the construction of a $85 million 2-story structure at St. Winfred Secondary and a single-flat building at East Rumvelt Secondary, respectively, were signed on Monday. A handful of schools, including the East Rumvelt Secondary School, had to build tents in October to make room for an influx of students. Following the AFC's decision to boycott the local government elections, opposition leader Aubrey Norton stated that APNU will announce its own position on contesting the poll at the appropriate time. Norton stated that if the AFC decided that running for LGE 2023 was not in their best interest, they are well within their rights to do so. He also said they will continue to protest, by they, APNU, for a new voters list. But they also have constituents with whom they are consulting before they actually make a final decision. With 108 murders reported so far for this year, according to Guyana's crime chief Wendell Blenheim, severe crimes are down by 19%, the lowest level in 10 years. He said there were 331 fewer serious crimes reported as compared to this period last year. However, the fact that domestic and disorderly homicides accounted for more than half of all murders during the previous 5 years was emphasized. In response, the GPF will start a social media campaign to spread knowledge about disorderly behavior and how it might develop into murder. Seminars on conflict resolution are also in the works. Now for today's oil update. For the third quarter of 2022, Noble Corporation, which operates 4 rigs offshore of Guyana, recorded earnings of US $33.59 million in comparison to the previous year, which had a net loss of US $23.67 million. This actually constituted a remarkable improvement when you consider it that way. Anyway, the century-old offshore driller reported that third quarter 2022 contract drilling services revenue was about US $289 million, up from US $262 million in the second quarter. During its earnings call, Noble also said that its marketed fleet utilization increased from 85% to 89% in the 3 months. It's November, which means it's officially robbery season. That's why you need to get security for your home and business through Sheriff Security Service. Sheriff Security offers well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. These people even got drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's Car of the Week. Currently on sale is this 2016 Toyota Crown Athlete. It comes with Bluetooth mag rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, back camera, and much, much more. Buy cars for $9.95 million, or pay as low as $1.99 million down, with around $170,000 monthly for 5 years, and it is yours. Call or tap 662-0844 for more info. Or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peter Road Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Nuga sent you for this sweet deal.
As an independent online news entity, being politically objective can cost you a lot of money in lost sponsorship opportunities. That's because most local companies are often too scared to associate themselves with a news entity that is uncompromising with the truth. We do appreciate our sponsors, as their support is what has allowed us to maintain our integrity without fear and remain dedicated to you, our viewers. Every night, thousands of viewers rely on Uncut News because they are tired of the biased and poorly presented mainstream media in Guyana. But to truly compete, we need your help to grow Uncut News from being the most watched online news to the most watched news in Guyana, period. Help us by becoming a monthly subscriber today. There are special rewards at every subscription level, including your name in the credits, personalized gifts, and more. Your monthly contribution helps us to stay independent by spending less time worrying about paying the bills and more time on keeping you informed. So click the link in the description of this video and become a subscriber today.
Now for our Uncut News Viewers Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Last night I asked, how do you feel about the AFC dropping out of the LGE before it even began? Willow Darrow says, can you blame them for not entering the election? If all they're saying about the voters list being bloated is correct, why enter the election for a chance to battle for second place, knowing fully well who the winner will be? I mean, that's one perspective. Roger Wilson says, the AFC should contest the election if they still have a few supporters. But it's my honest opinion that if the AFC leaves the coalition, they will have all their supporters back. Maybe even win the next general election. The people didn't like it when they became the yes men in parliament, but by standing by themselves, leaving, they can do better, and they will do better. I mean, you might have a point there, because honestly, it's that yes man behavior that imploded their credibility and made it so difficult for me to support them. Navindra Lal says local government elections is a waste of taxpayer money, because the people you elect to look after your community are not doing anything, and the NDCs is a big waste. I agree with you 100%, Navindra. That's why I suggest that you be the change that you want to see. Join the movement and run for your constituency. And finally, Lash says weak. Had so much hopes for the AFC as a third party. It's so disappointing to see them continuously play second fiddle to the opposition that routinely walks out of the national rum shop while still getting paid by our tax money. Indeed. Bloated list is no excuse to not represent your constituents. Show the people what you want for them to vote for. Jar no star. I agree. They've been in politics for far too long to not have come up with innovative ways to respond to perceived political unfairness. Walking out at this point just feels like a cop-out to me. Now for tonight's question. Do you think we should get rid of the NGSA, or should it be adjusted? How do you feel about it? I want you to think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying good night, folks.